It starts before sunrise. A convoy of trucks lines up outside a rural farm. One by one, cattle are guided up narrow ramps and loaded onto the trailers. The animals shuffle nervously. Workers move quickly, calling out instructions, making sure every gate is locked tight. Within minutes, the trucks are full. The engines start, and the long journey to the factory begins. For hours, these trucks travel down dusty roads, passing small towns and open fields. Nobody driving past gives them a second look. But what's inside those trailers will soon become part of a process most people never think about. By the time the trucks arrive at the processing facility, the sun is already high in the sky. The cattle are unloaded, inspected, and moved through standard processing procedures required by every meat facility. This part of the operation isn't unique. It happens every day, all over the world, to supply meat for grocery stores and restaurants. But there's a byproduct of this process that most people never consider. Instead of being thrown away, these horns are collected, sorted, and sent to a very different kind of workshop. This is where our real story begins. Because what happens next turns something ordinary into something extraordinary. A rough, discarded horn is about to become a luxury item worth thousands of dollars. Most people never think about where luxury materials actually come from. We see the finished product in a store. Smooth, shiny, expensive. We never see the mess, the noise, or the skill behind it. That's exactly why this topic has become so popular online. In this video, you'll discover how a raw white bullhorn is collected. Cleaned, heated, shaped, and polished into finished luxury goods. You'll also see how leather is prepared alongside it, creating combined horn and leather products that sell for premium prices. White bullhorns are especially valuable. Their pale, ivory-like color makes them perfect for high-end products. But when they first arrive at the factory, they look nothing like the polished items you'd see in a store. They're covered in dirt, still carry a strong, unpleasant smell. Some workers say the smell alone is enough to make new employees quit within their first week. But the ones who stay learn something surprising. Underneath that mess is one of the toughest, most flexible natural materials on Earth. Workers begin by sorting the horns by size, thickness, and color. Only the best specimens move forward. This sorting stage determines everything that follows. A slightly wrong choice here can waste hours of work later in the process. The horns are then boiled in large containers of water. This step softens the outer material and helps loosen dirt, blood residue, and old tissue trapped inside. The boiling process isn't quick. It can take hours, depending on the size and thickness of each horn. Workers constantly check the temperature. Too hot, and the horn can warp or crack. Too cold, and the cleaning process won't work properly. Once removed from the boiling water, the horns go through intense scrubbing and washing. This is physically hard work. Every groove and ridge on the horn's surface has to be cleaned by hand. But that wasn't the most surprising part of the process. What comes next completely changes the shape of the material. After cleaning, the horns are heated again, this time to make them soft enough to bend. Skilled workers use controlled heat to slowly straighten the natural curve of the horn. This step requires years of experience. If the heat is applied unevenly, the horn can crack instantly, destroying hours of work in 1 second. Once the horn becomes flexible, workers press it flat using heavy machines or manual tools. Depending on the factory's size and equipment, this flattening process is where the horn starts looking less like something from an animal and more like a raw sheet of material ready for crafting. At this point, most viewers assume the hardest part is over. It isn't. The real challenge is just beginning. Now the factory moves into cutting and shaping, depending on the final product. The flattened horn sheets or curved horn segments are cut into specific shapes. This could be for combs, jewelry, decorative handles, buttons, or luxury accessories. Every cut must follow the natural grain of the horn. Ignoring the grain can cause the material to split later, even after the product looks finished. Skilled artisans use small saws, blades, and grinding tools to shape each piece precisely. Because horn is a natural material, no two pieces are exactly the same. Then comes one of the most delicate stages, sanding. Multiple rounds of sanding smooth out rough edges and prepare the surface for polishing. Of course, sandpaper removes imperfections first. Finer sandpaper follows, slowly revealing the natural shine hidden inside the material. But here's something most people don't expect. The dust created during sanding isn't ordinary dust. Horn dust can be fine and slightly hazardous if inhaled in large amounts over time. That's why experienced workers wear masks and work in ventilated areas, a safety detail rarely shown in typical online videos. While all this shaping is happening, another process runs in parallel: leather preparation. Many luxury horn products aren't sold alone. They're combined with leather to create high-end accessories like knife handles, walking canes, decorative boxes, and premium home items. Raw hides are treated, tanned, and cut to specific measurements. The leather must match the color tone and texture of the horn piece it will be paired with. Experienced craftsmen compare dozens of leather samples before finding the perfect match. Then, using strong adhesives and precise stitching techniques, the leather is bonded to the horn base. If the alignment is even slightly off, the entire piece can look unbalanced or poorly made. At this stage, something surprising becomes clear. This isn't just manufacturing, it's closer to sculpture. Every finished item carries small, natural imperfections that make it unique. Something mass-produced plastic items can never copy. But creating that uniqueness comes with serious risk. One overheated horn, one uneven cut, one misaligned leather seam. Any of these mistakes can ruin a piece that took days to prepare. Then comes the turning point of the entire process: polishing. This is where raw material finally transforms into luxury. Polishing happens in multiple stages, using different tools and materials. At first, machines with rotating wheels smooth the surface using mild abrasive compounds. Then workers switch to finer polishing wheels, often using natural waxes or specialized polishing pastes. This step brings out the deep, glowing shine that makes white bullhorn products so desirable. Under bright light, the surface starts to look almost like ivory or pearl, something incredibly difficult to fake using artificial materials. The dirty, smelly, rough material collected weeks earlier now looks like something from a high-end boutique. Once polishing is complete, quality control begins. Every single piece is inspected closely. Workers check for cracks, uneven surfaces, weak leather stitching, or color mismatches. Even the smallest flaw can lead to rejection. Rejected pieces aren't necessarily wasted, though. Smaller fragments are sometimes reused for buttons, decorative inlays, or other small accessories, reducing material waste even further. After passing inspection, the finished products move to packaging. Products are wrapped carefully, often placed in branded boxes or protective pouches, ready for shipment to stores or international buyers. At this point, viewers might assume the story ends here. But there's a bigger picture most people never consider. The global demand for horn and leather luxury goods has grown rapidly in recent years. Buyers from the United States, Europe, and the Middle East actively search for handcrafted items that feel authentic and different from mass-produced alternatives. This growing demand has helped small workshops expand, creating stable jobs in regions where alternative employment can be limited. At the same time, this industry raises important questions about sustainability, because these products use horn from animals already processed for meat. Supporters argue this method reduces waste rather than creating additional demand for animal parts. However, ethical sourcing remains an important topic. At reputable factories emphasize transparency about where and how their materials are obtained. So what does all of this mean for the future of horn and leather crafting? As automation increases across nearly every industry, handcrafted products are becoming more valuable, not less. People are searching for authenticity. They want to know that real hands, real skill, and real time went into creating what they own. This is why videos revealing these hidden processes attract so much attention. They remind viewers that behind every polished, beautiful object, there's an incredible amount of human effort most people never see. So the next time you see a horn comb, a decorative handle, or a leather-wrapped luxury item, you'll understand exactly what it took to create it. From the truck that carried the cattle at dawn, to the weeks of boiling, cutting, and polishing that followed, every step mattered, in countless moments where a single mistake could ruin everything. What looks simple on a store shelf is actually the result of patience, skill, and quiet dedication. That's the real story hidden behind luxury horn and leather products. Now you know the truth behind the shine. If this video opened your eyes to a process you never knew existed, let us know what surprised you the most in the comments below. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed discovering how these luxury items are really made. And subscribe for more behind-the-scenes journeys into the hidden processes that shape the world around us.